fought against the evil army of the shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine right. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur, the young gnome who was the first of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the Woodland Realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes, Nate Bonnet, who was supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved a kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah! Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow... Ow!
Hi, Nate. How's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
Risks? What risks?
Now, Djinn magic is a complicated affair. It's difficult to get the dose right, and when one hasn't done magic for a while, things can go a little bit wrong.
Like you killing me, for example?
Not intentionally.
No big thing. So, now that we have a little time to kill, why don't you tell me a little something about yourself?
Oh, right. Well, yes, I came into this world in an oasis in the Umzu Desert, and at that time, I was...
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Definitely not the time to reminisce.
Then why did you ask?
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it, then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Let me see. I'm accompanying tons of boulders in a plummet to certain painful death. My death. So just how do you think you could make things any worse?
Worse? I could set the air on fire, or it could start smelling very bad.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me! I just can't take it anymore!
Benny! Ah! The state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do. A flying carpet. Is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why, you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes! What the heck? What happened here? No!
Welcome, Adventurer. I am the tutorial, guardian of gameplay, explainer of controls.
Use the left stick to move the character.
Well done.
If you walk up to an object, context-sensitive act. Walk up to that big lever. The robot. Now press circle so that the robot looks at.
Excellent. The robot thinks the lever is working.
But if that's so, then where is the problem? That hatch over there, walk up to it and...
The little chap seems to think there are advanced engine mechanics hidden behind there. Perhaps that's where the problem is.
Press X again next to the hatch. The first time you press X will allow you to look, the second to use.
Why? Because after a player character has looked at something,
It's quite simple. Press circle when you want to look at something. Press... Is the machine working again?
appears to be a new problem. Better take a closer look at the engine.
Oops, that wasn't very helpful.
Great work. Items you pick up will go into your inventory.
You open and close your inventory by pressing triangle. To use an inventory item, select it with X and then
Use one of the gears. Excellent. Now the second gear. Perfect. That should do it. Time to crank it up. Examine objects in the inventory in more detail. Pick up,
Then open the inventory with triangle.
Great. You found a few items.
You can use these items on each other by initially selecting the first object with X.
Try to repair the figure in the inventory. Well done. Now place the figure back in its rightful place on the back.
Excellent. Now, one last test before I go.
Good luck to you.
I'm worried about you.
Oh, Mother.
What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the Elf Kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
Have you seen this, Prince? A vain river elf who's
I
only
apologize.
interested in
Had a
topping up
delivery.
his tan.
Had to take it.
I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't love?
Back
Not
to the
me.
adventure.
And how? She will try anything and everything. Nothing's more important to her than getting me married off. Ugh. When I was out there with the humans, it was the first time that I had the feeling I could determine my own destiny. Yes, it was dangerous. Doesn't that go with the territory? A life without risk, that is so... Oh, you don't understand. If I could, I would go right... You want to stop me?
They don't show you is the bugs the size of your head that just eat you alive out there.
I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world, and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book
Tablecloth
down
and
in the
bedding look
library.
really cool.
No, rest is not what I need just now.
The wrinkles and the gold trim on the bottom, that's pretty sweet.
I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be stopped, neither by locked doors nor by you. A beautiful red flower. It was only put here. Sometimes Mother orders a new plant, and then it's replaced and planted. It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden. I'm just doing my morning exercises. I wasn't going to. Of course, I could just ignore him. He would, however, make a beeline to Mother and tell on me. And who knows? We have many exotic plants here in the palace. I used to look into the woods for days on end. Now I know, and I think I miss it. We have many exotic... Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. The times when the others were here in the Elf Burrow, those were the best that I've ever had. Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages. Complete idiot. I had my birthday during the few weeks that we spent living together here in the Elf Burrow. That was a big deal for Wilbur. He couldn't understand that the significance of birthdays tends to fade after a few hundred years. He insisted on making me a present. He sat in the corner for days knitting me this hat with his little gnarled fingers. Cheap survived our past adventure, even if he'll insist on exactly the opposite. He told everyone for months how he defended me from all the evils of the world and then only just escaped with his tail feathers intact. I've been sleeping badly of late, and sometimes I feel tired all day long. I've never been ill, but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library. The guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate. Elven craftsmen have centuries to perfect their artistic skills. Only when everything is always perfect, then isn't everything always the same and somehow unimportant? Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such things whilst I am, as she says, positively rotund. Mother's locked me in. Since I secretly escaped from the Elf Burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before. Hey, Cheap. Fancy some delicious sunflower seeds? You want the seeds? I want to get out of this room. Could we not come to some arrangement? I would never do that. I know that royal servants are unbribable, but sunflower seeds? Then perhaps not. Most birds love a mirror because they believe they can see another bird in it. You just love them because you can't get enough of yourself. I would be a bit less unbearable if I wasn't incarcerated in here. And you really think it's appropriate for me to be locked in here too, eh? Yes, only what's best for me. She always says that. See you later. Yes, of course I'll be a good girl and stay in my room. Okay, he's not looking this way. Oh, there is more than one kind of stretch exercise, you know. Perhaps you'd like to train with me. No chance. I can't sneak down as long as Cheap's on guard. I've still got some seeds and shouldn't take more than... Fresh water from the Spring Brook, the little stream that rises here in the castle and provides for the whole valley. People come from far and wide to drink it. My jewellery box serves as a podium for the vertically challenged narcissist. Could you please move aside? I want to get into my jewellery box. He doesn't listen to me anymore since I almost caused him to be roasted by fireballs, decapitated by swords and eaten by monsters. Mother has permitted him to disregard any of my orders that go against her wishes. His interpretation of this can be liberal. Cheap, the box, please. Oh. Wilbur didn't know that autumn would last for years. Mother looked at the hat with so much revulsion that I didn't take it off for... Cheap Cheap likes to look at his reflection. He strikes a pose and then tries to impress himself with it. And Cheap. Oh. An envoy from the Far East gave me this musical box years ago. Wherever I go, I always have its tune in my head. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west where I learnt to use a bow and arrow. When Nate and the others lived here, Nate often made intimations that were to do with the bed. I don't know why, but I know Mother wasn't happy about it. She moved him to a guarded guest room at the other end of the castle. And Cheap Cheap was ordered never to leave my side. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to trick him. Mother's orders are sacrosanct to him. If I'm to get... I don't know how, but he always seems to... Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic. I've seen much suffering. Here in the Elf Burrow, everything is so ordered. The door's locked and can only be opened from the other side. I'll have to find another way down to the library. Cheap. Oh. Hey, Cheap Cheap. I only need it for a minute. Oh, he's not budging, and his pecs can be damn painful when he puts his mind to it. No, I'm not thirsty. Normally this bowl is full. Presumably Mother has just... The music box closes automatically as soon as the melody finishes. A guard with a spear and... Cheap. Oh. Hey, Cheap Cheap. I only... Oh, he's not budging. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to trick him. Cheep Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak instead? Don't say I never look after you. Pearls, precious stones, all the stuff I have. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff, and a wing of the castle would be my wardrobe. She just can't understand why Pa and I aren't into this sort of thing. Not while Cheep Cheep's still on guard. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned from one piece of tree root.
She just shoved the mirror in her pocket.
I don't know how, but he perhaps... Hey, withdrawal symptoms? I just need the music book. You don't need... Shh. He's gone to sleep. It got dark and he's simply... No matter. I can now enjoy a few moments of peace. Let's go. As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is. This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's missing. Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only queen here. A lovely spot. I don't have... I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea. We no longer invite her to family gatherings. There's only a little water left in the bird bath. Cheep Cheep always says that it evaporates quickly. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish the water is more down to his unbridled joyous splashing and not insignificant body mass. There are elf-made ponds and streams all over the palace ground. Their water's said to have healing powers. No wonder considering where it comes from. The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm. That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life. That's a weeping willow. It appears to be so content it looks anything but sad. Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the Elf Burrow. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson. Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans. Actually, more of a brochure. And what's this? Fishing for the moderately talented.
It's like the portal cube.
There's a selection of cubes here. For a while, it was all the rage at official state visits to give geometric presents. A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things in dragon's language at the dragons. I think it's some kind of test of courage. I haven't really got the time to sit and read a book, and if I had, it would... There must be a medical book for elves here somewhere. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must be... Those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we present them with a book about it? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book like all... What they... Working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed watching him in the past. He carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals turned into wood. This one's more about interiors, making furniture and the like. Plane the wood down... Who knows what that might be good for? A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. a bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt it down. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes arrived. A great example of the variety of our world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall. What have we got here then? Aha! Ah! Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
Ill elf? So I look ill. What's wrong with me?
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one? I'm older than you.
And you look it, too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh, please.
It is one of the most common causes of death amongst beautiful princesses.
Oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus.
Lupus? Is it lupus?
I think it is something else.
Like what?
What a fucking word to use, lupus.
Completely
To
certain,
George
you must
Costanza freak
mix
out.
a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
Are you actually qualified to make a diagnosis? And why can you talk?
I am a magical medicine book. That actually serves as an answer to both of your questions.
I've never encountered a talking book before.
Of course not. I am the only talking book here. That's the problem. In the magical library in Seastone, all books can talk. Things really get cooking there, believe me.
I demand to know this instant what sort of illness I have.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
I can take it.
A placebo only works when one doesn't know that it is a placebo. Make the potion and then come back and drink it. Then we'll be sure.
And if it's lupus?
Have you been bitten by a
Lupus?
wolf
Is it
yet?
lupus?
No.
Then it can't be lupus. No, I'm pretty sure it's something else. Now, that potion?
All right, this potion. What goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds revolting.
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
I was staring
And
at
if I
that mini
drink it,
bridge. Can you
I'll be
repeat
well
all that?
again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
This metis bush. Where can I find one?
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
A red herring. Are you serious?
Of course, why not? Red herrings are known all over the land as particularly useful fish. Their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine, and literature are too numerous to mention.
All right, so I've got a red herring. What are the potion's ingredients again?
The green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey, and a red herring. You have to put everything into a bowl with a bit of water and pound it until it forms a viscous potion.
I already forgot again what the ingredients are. Honey, some kind of bush, and some kind of fake thing, red herring.
Thank you. I think that's all for now.
Got a problem paying
Normally,
attention.
it's me that ends patient consultations. You are only a princess, but I am a doctor.
You're a book.
The medicine book is a bad-tempered, grumpy old trout, but I do think it knows what it's talking about.
The bedroom. Okay.
No idea what kind of bush this is, but its red fruit looks very yummy. If I learnt one thing in the woods, it's that you shouldn't eat anything you don't know. I convinced Mother not to have the hive removed, and she reluctantly agreed. However, should she be stung, then the hive's days are numbered. Mother pours water from very... She did this almost daily in times gone by to ask the mirror who was the fairest elf in all the lands. Ever since perhaps there are a few practical hints and tips in the fishing book. A lucrative season with a successful technique doesn't just depend on the type and quality of your tackle, but also on a really good spot. It doesn't matter whether you jig, dip, toddle or feed. Wobblers, twisters, spinners, blinkers, poppers, jigs, jerks and live bait must be presented in the most enticing ways possible. I haven't the faintest idea what all that means. I presume my fishing talents are not quite advanced enough to enable me to use this book. The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel with illustrations by Alexander Bonpland. If I want to know something about plants, I can just ask our gardener. He knows everything about plants. Well, that's what he says anyway. The door can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up to me, it would stay open. Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have copious amounts of it here. That should do it. The medicine book reckoned that it should be a viscous potion. It's a start, but there are still ingredients missing. A delicate sweet. I'm going to have to take a few more of your seeds. One can almost see Mother would never. As suspected, there are red herrings swimming in the pond. They are really saltwater fish that live in the sea. But they always come back to their homeland to breed. They're the only known fish variety that can scale nearly vertical cliffs. Red herrings are fast and slippery. Even elves can't catch them with their bare hands. There are reeds and water lilies growing in the pond. Naturally, they were planted there. They don't grow in the wild so high up the mountains. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to marry me off to a proper elf prince. So far I can't think of any use for a water lily, but a reed could come in handy. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother's no idea what kind of bush. If I learnt one thing in the woods, the bees. Isn't there a turn of phrase like stirring up a bee's nest? As long as the bees are wide awake and buzzing, I don't dare. I convinced Mother not to have. However, this is Mother's mirror. At the moment. I don't really know much about reeds or pipes, but if I'm not mistaken, then those things are called pipe cleaners. A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh. I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
The garden always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, my dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. What do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling, I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She'd be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Now then, she is the queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener, get it?
What are you up to today then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough. Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather and the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
You and Father, You get along well, don't you?
No one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
The mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
I have to get on.
Yup, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there. Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong, just not that one.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her and she might tell him what's up.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
Arbor's obviously concerned about his flower. Hi, Arbor.
Oh!
Look, I found this book in the library.
Woodcrafts? Why are you showing me that?
I thought it might interest you.
I don't like horror stories.
Horror stories?
Wood that has been clamped into a revolving monstrosity to be whittled down layer by layer to the
I just
core?
thought about that
What do you call
after I
that,
showed him that book.
Sorry, never looked at it like that.
Branches sawed off, boards nailed together, wood treated with chemicals. Oh, sick stuff.
Have you found out what's wrong with the plant yet?
Nope, I haven't. Everything looks proper. Earth is moist and nutrient-rich. The sun is shining. Difficult case. I'd quite like to smoke my morning pipe now, but first work, then play.
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine, then you'd help me with that, wouldn't you?
Ill? You're an elf. Elves don't get ill.
But if I were...
Oh, come on. Now tell me. How can I help you?
Do we have a lettuce bush in the garden here?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect, then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The lettuce bush has exceptionally delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour. Call it a defense mechanism.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of here.
That's right.
Do you know how I could get my hands on some honey?
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to wander through the castle.
Of course. Someone would tell your mother.
Would that beehive in the tree over there be of any help?
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees defend their honey and can give you a nasty sting.
Couldn't they be distracted or tricked in some way?
Beekeepers wear protective clothes and use smoke that calms the bees. But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done it.
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it back in one piece. What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect a variety of mystical items in exchange for it.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Not everything needs to be complicated, you know.
Right in the back pocket.
What was that with the lettuce bush and the green fruit?
If the bush gets...
There's something else. About the potion,
Art?
There's something... See you later.
See ya!
It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers to hang their heads in this garden. Normally they blossom in our good earth, not to mention the power of Arbor's green fingers. This is a metis bush, just what I need. Only its fruit is red, not green. According to Arbor, the bush's fruit becomes green and... Arbor's pot, literally. A handy smooth stone, Arbor's sheepdog. I really shouldn't... it's only Earth. I should tell Mother how her daughter... well, she'd be delighted. This is a metis bush, only its fruit... The worms provide a great lure and should increase my fishing success rate, whatever that is. I always hang one onto the hook before I cast the line out. The worms provide a great... I always hang... The worms are happy and fat. The earth in the bonsai... The worms provide a great lure and should increase my... I always hang one onto the hook. I don't have a clue about fishing, but I'll try my luck. Just as I expected, nothing. On the other hand, somehow I have the feeling that I now know what I'm doing. Red herrings are fast and slippery. Even elves can't catch them. I guess that I can just practice until I'm good enough. Or I could try to speed things up by learning more about fishing elsewhere. Nothing. A classic. A classic. nothing. At last. Now I can tick the red herring off my list. I don't really know much about reeds or pipes, but if I'm not mistaken, then those... A handy smooth stone. Hi, Arbor.
Oh,
About the potion.
Art.
There's some... See you later.
See ya.
Isn't there a turn of phrase like, as long... Mother pours water from various jugs into this bowl to... She did this almost daily in times gone by to ask the mirror who was the fairest. Ever since the mirror started to hesitate with the answer a few months ago, she hasn't been... There's only a little water left in the bird. I, however, think that the... Perhaps I have enough knowledge to now understand. Right. Aha, oh, twice in a row, then, that was educational. I already know. No more water in the jug, but I don't need it. It's a start, but there are still... Thanks for the sacrifice, little fish. It's a start. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother sees... So... They're sparkling and glinting in the sunshine. They could actually come in handy. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one enemy when he refused to heed all the warnings and sat on the throne. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a Perhaps I can help Arbor solve the problem with that flower. Let's take a look. This plant reminds me of the one that Arbor's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation. Giant beans, also known as magic beans, are very rare. They are the fastest growing plant variety known. Because of the beans' high costs, they are almost exclusively used by the military, for instance, in storming high-walled castles. Killer tomatoes are the most devious of the meat-eating plants. Disguised as tomatoes, they hunt on allotments for defenseless humans. The tree of wrath bears fruit several times a year. These grapes of wrath are bad-tempered beasts that can lay whole areas to rack and ruin. Steel magnolias look like normal magnolias, but are some of the toughest plants on Earth. They can be softened using tragic women's stories and subsequently may be picked. Guard plants, Vigilia audriensis, belong to the oldest domesticated plants of humankind. They have been especially valued in times of famine as they do not require as much food as, for instance, dogs. They can sometimes develop an unhealthy taste for blood. Baritones. The wood of intelligent apple trees is often used for the equally intelligent and beautifully shaped living accessories of all types. For a long time, botanists thought that it may be possible to find other intelligent fruit varieties. So far, the search has proved fruitless. Mandrake should only be cultivated by experienced gardeners. The cry of the baby mandrake can kill anyone within 20 metres instantaneously. Mandrake should only be cultivated by experienced gardeners. Love lily. The love lily. If the this plant. Lovely. If the Hi, Arbor. I think I know the name of your patient. It's a love lily.
You don't look particularly loved up.
That's exactly the problem. Love lilies enter into a lifelong partnership with another plant. And if they're separated...
Then they let their heads droop. Good theory. But the fairies know their plants. They'd never have given us a love lily without its partner.
About the... There's some... See you later.
See ya.
I have to find the love lily's companion. The fairies would have known that it wouldn't have been able to survive without its partner. This flower clearly is one of the more exotic of the... It comes from a country in the deep... It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration... Hi.
Well?
We have a lettuce bush in the garden, but its fruit's red, not green.
Those will be useless. Red lettuce fruit are sweet. We need the sour green ones.
Thank you.
That's what...
Sometimes it's difficult to believe that they look as if some bored artist... A book about woodcraft. I'm not going... That mother will... The waterfall and I have been neighbours for so long that I don't really hear it anymore. This is Mother's... At the moment... According to Arbor, the bush's fruit becomes green and sour if it feels afraid or threatened. I don't believe that's the love lily's life. This lily's new to the garden, and I don't really know much about reeds or pipes, but if I'm not... A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. This flower was given to us by the fairies. I bet they belong to... No more water in... Look, do you know this flower?
Ha ha ha! You did well, girl.
It would appear so.
You snivelling, girl? You all right?
No. Yes? I don't know.
Well then, I think I've earned myself a little rest now.
The hell did you do? You just stood there while I did everything. Yeah, you're gonna get high. And you're gonna finish helping me.
You're having a good time, I see.
Hey, that smoke is
can I do for
probably
you?
calming him down. Farewell.
I have to get...
That I won't.
Alright.
The smoke from Arbor's pipe seems to be calming the bees.
Hey now, you all right there?
Sorry.
Well, I'm not happy about this destruction of nature. Not unless I get half of that there honey.
I don't need any more. The rest is for you.
Oh! But that's enough. The bees need a bit too.
That's Arbor's little spade. He all... I just need to borrow your spade a moment. Is that okay?
Of course. Absence me.
This is a metaspoon, only it's free. This is only it's. If it were possible to hit fish with stones, it's a start. About 1 spoon of honey. Helmets with horns. It's said that a rule Hi.
Well,
Thank you for your...
that's what.
Each cube is significant and comes from a different country.